Breaking news here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. The Kansas City Chiefs and offensive guard Trey Smith have agreed to terms on a 4-year contract extension, making Trey Smith the highest paid offensive guard in the history of the National Football League. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us as we react to this breaking news coming out just a few moments ago. Smith gets a deal that gives him more guaranteed money than any other guard previously. $70 million to be exact. That's about $7 million more than Robert Hunt previously got. 4 years, $94 million is the number that he's getting, which was higher than what he was projected to receive. So the Chiefs even pay him more money than we anticipated. And I'll say this before we get into the nitty-gritty of all this. Folks, what a day, right? Think about where we were back in February and March when it seemed like a foregone conclusion that Trey Smith would not be returning to the Kansas City Chiefs, that he would be walking in free agency and playing for a different team in 2025. But oh, how the turntables when we found out the news that the salary cap was going up higher than we anticipated. And Brett Veach all of a sudden said, Trey Smith is back in play. And they go to the franchise tag as a placeholder. And we were saying to ourselves, okay, that's good for now. We know Trey's coming back, but let's see them get a deal done. And then there was some other things out there. Okay, does Trey want to be here? What does that look like? Well, he still showed up to the offseason program when he didn't have to be. And he reaffirmed his commitment. He said loudly and clearly, I want to be a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. And he put his money where his mouth is, and he got a deal done. The news coming from Fox Sports' Jordan Schultz, who tweeted this out, breaking the Chiefs and Pro Bowl guard Trey Smith are close to finalizing a 4-year extension that will make him the highest paid guard in NFL history, sources tell me. Schultz followed that up by saying the deal for Chiefs guard Trey Smith is 4 years and $94 million per source. Highest paid guard in NFL history. The deal gives him $70 million guaranteed. That is a lot of money, but this is a guy that is worth every single penny that deserves it. This is a relief for the Kansas City Chiefs for a number of reasons. Not only do you lock up one of the best offensive guards in all of football, but the offensive line has been the biggest question mark for the Kansas City Chiefs over the last couple of seasons, particularly on the left side of the line. And now I know going forward that I have two stalwarts, all right, in Creed Humphrey, the best center in all of football, and Trey Smith right there. Jawan Taylor's likely gone after this year. We'll see what Josh Simmons turns into at the left tackle position. Jalen Moore, there's some question marks about. Will Kingsley develop at the left guard spot? But with that said, I know for certain that I am in really good hands with these two as they're just entering their prime years and getting started. This is a big effing deal. This is a relief for the Kansas City Chiefs. What is your one-word reaction? I'll give you my one-word reaction coming up in a moment, but want to hear from you guys first. Weigh in the comments section and let us know what that one word is. Folks, this is why you subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I'll be honest with you. I had 2 shows scripted out for either circumstance. And we were told by Pretty Ricky about a week ago that this was going to happen. And we gave you that news here on the channel. And if you watch this channel, you knew it was coming, that Trey Smith was going to get this record-breaking contract. That is why you subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report, because we tell you everything before it happens. We keep you up to date so you know what the hell is going on. So if you aren't subscribed by now, you need to be subscribed by now, because we're telling you everything. We are ahead of it all right here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Let's get at least 50 damn subs off today's video. Subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Do it. I dare you to subscribe. Do it. All right, my one word, huge. This is huge for the Kansas City Chiefs. Huge to get this done with Trey Smith. I'm a big fan of Trey. I mean, if we look back at the Brett Veach era in Kansas City and some of the great draft picks that he's made over the years, Trey Smith is right near the top when you talk in terms of value. A former sixth-round pick out of Tennessee. And there were some health concerns when he was drafted. That's why he slipped to the sixth round. And so when the Chiefs brought in Trey Smith, they didn't necessarily know if those health issues were going to carry on. Well, you know what, folks? Trey Smith has been one of the most dependable and reliable offensive linemen that the Kansas City Chiefs have had the last few seasons. All right? That has not been a problem for him. He's been a part of 2 Super Bowls now. He's coming off his first career Pro Bowl appearance. His numbers, according to Pro Football Focus last year, in over 1,100 snaps, were as good as anybody at his position, with an offensive grade near 79, a pass block grade near 71, a run block grade near 81. He's exactly what you need at this position. And now going forward from here, I give Trey a ton of credit here. Because you think about what's going on in the National Football League in terms of these contract negotiations. I look at T.J. Watt in Pittsburgh. He's not happy right now. They don't know if he's going to report to training camp or not. You had Myles Garrett in Cleveland demanding a trade. They worked things out. He's back in Cleveland. But Trey handled this like a professional. He showed up, and he made it clear, I want to be here. I don't want to go anywhere else. Took a little bit of time, but they made it happen. And you think, too, go back to the Chris Jones situation a couple of years ago. Chris Jones held out and missed week 1. We didn't have to get to that point. And this could have dragged on a whole nother year, folks. Today was the deadline. You had till 3 o'clock Central Time. If the deal wasn't going to get done today, then we would have to wait till this conversation next offseason, and Trey could have gotten more money. And another thing, too, because they got this done today, and him not playing on the franchise tag, that helps out the Kansas City Chiefs and lowers his cap number. So now we can put this behind us, and we can get to work. And I give Trey a ton of credit for that. He put the team first ahead of himself. He didn't let this get in the way. He was a pro. He was a pro's pro. And not only am I glad to have him here, but I respect the hell out of how he handled these negotiations. We know what the saying is. It's not personal. It's just business. And he approached his business in the right way, in a professional manner. We've seen the Chiefs be on the wrong end of this in the past. Remember Orlando Brown a few years ago. That wasn't great, and Orlando Brown ended up leaving. But Trey Smith left no doubt, and salute to him for doing so. Do you believe in Trey Smith? Is he that dude? I think he is that dude. Type B for believe, D for don't. Be 100% honest with me. Way in the comment section, let us know. Got a great deal we're offering Chiefs fans right now. You see this hoodie. It's a short sleeve, so you may be thinking, do I really want to wear it this time of year or not? Well, give it a chance. And if it is a bit too hot, you can thank yourself later, because you're going to be saving some big cojones here, folks. You're going to go from paying $55 for this thing to just $33 now. Insane deal, my friends. Go to chatsports.com/Chiefs sale to get yours today. All sorts of different shapes and sizes. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Other Chiefs merchandise at that same link as well. Get yours now, chatsports.com/Chiefs sale. When I look at Trey Smith, this is a guy just getting started, all right? One of the things that I give Brett Veach a ton of credit for when you look at this roster is the young pieces that are a part of this. Even though they've won 3 Super Bowls in this Veach, Reed, Mahomes, Kelsey, Jones era, they have still done a really good job of continuing to build this young core with guys like Trey Smith, Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, among others. All right? And Trey is just now getting going here. Just went to his first Pro Bowl last year. His best football is still ahead of him at this point. All right? So you're paying him this money now, and it's a lot of money, folks. We're not dancing around that fact. It is a lot of cash. But even with that said, the investment is going to pay off. And had we waited till next year, it'd be even more money. So you are investing in a quality investment, a cornerstone piece for this Kansas City Chiefs team. Look, we don't know how much longer Chris Jones is going to be here. We don't know how much longer Travis Kelce is going to be here. But you know what I know? They're going to be able to roll for many years to come with guys like Patrick Mahomes, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, among others here. And you look at this offensive line situation. Jalen Moore would be your starting center at this moment, but Simmons is on track to take that job. He still has to earn it, right? But you got question marks there. Kingsley, we'll see what he does at the left guard spot. We've been told good things, but we were sold a bag of goods last year at this time with him playing the left tackle spot. So there is some concern there. But now I got Creed. Creed is good at the center spot. And I got Trey Smith. And then Jawan Taylor. Depends on the day, right? Hey, I can roll with these guys. Maybe I just have to run the ball every play between the tackles, between Humphrey and Trey Smith. But you'll find a way to make it work. At the end of the day, I'm glad he's here, that he's not going anywhere this offseason. Brett Veach had a big challenge ahead of him. How were you going to keep Trey Smith? And it seemed unlikely at one point. What about Nick Bolton? And he found a way to get it done. And sure, you lost Justin Reed. But I think Jaden Hicks is going to be even better than what he is. And then you had a really good draft. You had to move on from Joe Thuney. But then you bring in Josh Simmons. Everything worked out about as well as it could have. And this team, which got to the Super Bowl last year, is even better than what they were last year. Let that sink in. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Kansas City Chiefs. Support youtube.com/ChiefsTV. We will be live later on this afternoon, 4 o'clock Central Time. We'll see you then.